Hello, I'm Elizabeth Joseph, certified holistic nutrition specialist, colon hydrotherapist, author, chef, and new mommy. Today we're going to be doing an overview of nutrition from preconception all the way to postpartum if you're breastfeeding, of course. The first thing I want to mention is if you have the chance to plan your pregnancy, which a lot of us don't and didn't. If you do, this is the best time to get as healthy as possible, really. You know, pick up exercising if you can. Yoga's great, even light walks are amazing. But I love to recommend GMOs. That's going to be my number one thing. Really, really do your best to get these out of your diet. They can affect your ability to carry and even get pregnant. A lot of people have trouble getting pregnant. And then once they take the GMOs out of their diet, they're pregnant. They cause a wealth of damage to your digestive tract. So they poke tiny little holes in your colon. They can cause food allergies, leaky gut. They even cause death and aggression in farm animals. So even if it's not causing us to die immediately, it's causing damage to our health, and you don't want that anywhere near you or your unborn baby. Nutrients. How do we get our nutrients? What are the most important nutrients for pregnancy? You're going to hear a lot about protein, folate. One that's not talked about a lot is iodine. I'm going to touch on that. I'm also going to touch on supplements and why I like them, and I have some here that I'm going to show you. Superfoods are a great way to get in any nutrients that are not as commonly found in foods. And their superfoods are called that because they're packed full of many nutrients that you would otherwise have to eat a wide array of food. One I would love to recommend is chlorella. You can buy these really cheaply at any health food store. I like Dr. Gabriel Cousens specifically. He tests a lot of his products. I have some other supplements from his store, and there's a link to that on my site, which you'll hear at the end of this video. This is $30 for 1,000 tabs. Pretty good, okay? Chlorella is a whole food. It's from the sea. A lot of those dark, deep green sea plants have things, phytonutrients that we can just not get anywhere else because of where they are located in the sea. So this has tons of iron, protein, lots of minerals. It even has some B12 in there, and they're all listed on this one, which is another reason I like this particular brand. If you have another source for chlorella tablets, that's totally fine. Just make sure that it's only chlorella in them and not any fillers or binders, okay? Protein, super, super important. You'll hear anywhere from 70 to 100 grams per day for protein for a pregnant woman. Protein is pretty widely available in most foods. If you are plant-based, you're just going to have to really focus on getting more of that in. You're going to be eating a ton anyway because you're pregnant. So legumes are a great source of protein, and nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds are going to be my favorite source because they're really low in sugar, low in carbs, and high in fat and protein, the healthy kind. Plus they have tons of fiber and vitamins and minerals, of course. Pumpkin seeds are great for zinc. Your seeds are always going to be higher in protein, and then your nuts are going to be higher in fat, okay? You always want to germinate or soak your seeds and nuts overnight, and that will give you a minimum of 8 times more nutrition, up to 50 times, depending on the nut or seed. So that's really great. If you have a dehydrator, you just soak them basically overnight in drinking water always, and then you rinse them off the next morning till the water is clear. Then you dehydrate them overnight. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can bake them in your oven at 100 degrees for about an hour. And you can even leave the door open if you're trying to keep them raw. And that'll be, pretty similar, and that they'll get them back to their crunchy state. Folate, super important. Any good prenatal is going to have most of these in it, by the way. Folate is, you'll find that in your greens. So your deep leafy greens, broccoli, get that in as much as you can. Smoothies are going to be a great way to incorporate really any of these foods. I'll get into taster versions in a minute because I know when I was pregnant I couldn't finish a smoothie to save my life. Iodine. Iodine is not really talked about too much, and I have not seen many prenatals that contain iodine, but it's actually really, really important for your thyroid function, your immune health, and brain development. So definitely get your iodine in. I have a supplement here. It's called ThyroVen, okay? I really like it. It doesn't have any fillers in it. The other ingredients, which you always want to look for, just says vegetable cellulose. So that's just what the capsule's made out of. And then the ingredients are just Irish moss, kelp, garlic, chlorella, and it has the 140 micrograms of iodine per serving, okay? You can also get that at the Tree of Life store online, which is, once again, on my website. Folate, I covered. Iron's another really big one if you're pregnant. Once again, you'll probably have that in your prenatal, but of course, we always want to get it from food sources if we can. So if you're having taste aversions, what do you do about that? Most women do. Most women are going to have some taste aversions. Like I said, I couldn't finish a salad or smoothie to save my life when I got pregnant. So you just do your best, really, be forgiving on yourself. Don't stress yourself out. Have faith that your baby will be really healthy and that you're doing your best. What I love to do is really just hide greens anywhere that you can. So if you're craving that pasta or sandwich, stuff it full of greens, stuff it full of as many healthy things as you possibly can. Another great thing to do is to incorporate raw foods into your diet. This is really important because when we cook our food, we're destroying all of the enzymes, about 80% of the phytonutrients, many of the vitamins and minerals, and 50% of the protein. That's right. Even your meat, you're cooking away 50% of the protein, which is not very easily assimilated by your body anyway, because protein from animal sources are made for that animal. Your body actually makes protein from amino acids. So when you eat the protein that's in chicken, for instance, the protein was actually made for that chicken from the amino acids it got from the plants that it ate. So when you eat that, you're eating protein that's not even made for your body or your species. So skip the chicken, skip the beef, the cow, the pig, and go right to the source. Eat the plants. That's where they're getting their protein from. You're going to decrease your chance for gestational diabetes by doing that. You're going to decrease your chance for hypertension, cholesterol, heart attack, stroke, and the big one, cancer. All of those go up from 30 to 40% when you eat animal products. So going plant-based is a great thing that you can do for your baby's development, your own health, your immune system. If you're healthy, your baby's going to be healthy, okay? And back to taste aversions. If you are having some taste aversions and you're having trouble getting your greens down, keep in mind that your body knows what to do and your baby won't suffer. You will suffer. Your baby always gets first dibs on all the nutrients. So if you don't have them, it will actually pull them from your body. So that's why it's really important. You want to be healthy. You want to eat a ton of variety, fruits and veggies, lots of colors, and eat the rainbow so that you're abundant in these vitamins and minerals so that you don't feel deficient. I had a colleague of mine from SCNM, the Southwest College in Naturopathic Medicine, becoming a doctor, and she told me that many side effects and symptoms that pregnant women have, like nausea and headaches and morning sickness, are actually just deficiencies manifesting, which kind of makes sense. I don't have any studies to prove this, but it kind of made sense. I didn't really experience any morning sickness myself. I just tried to eat really, really healthy, and I took a small survey. I actually have one going that will be on my website because I want to get to the bottom of that. But I thought it was a really interesting piece of information that, think about it, if we were really healthy and we could avoid all those horrible symptoms, the feet swelling, the morning sickness. I mean, think if you could avoid that, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you want your pregnancy as pleasant as possible? I know I would want that chance. Okay, so let's get into supplements right now, okay? Like I said before, The best way to get your vitamins and minerals is always going to be a whole food source. That being said, if you are supplementing, you want the same thing out of your supplement. My favorite prenatal is going to be Garden of Life, okay? I don't have a link to this one on my website just because it's so readily, easily found at most health food stores. They actually have a couple of prenatals. One of them is in tablet form, which means that there are binders and fillers in it. And it's not a terrible one. It's pretty good. But I like this one because it's free of those. It's in capsule form. The ingredients and the vitamins and minerals are mostly from whole food sources. I know you probably can't read that, but it got a list of literally organic fruits and vegetables on the back of this, which is absolutely fantastic, okay? A few of the vitamins here are synthetic, and what that means is you'll see something like it'll say vitamin K as, vitamin C as, ascorbic acid, okay? When you see that instead of like vitamin C as cherries, that's what that means. It means that they isolated the vitamin, and that's not necessarily the worst thing, but if you can find one that's food source based, that's really what you want to do. I recommend you going to my website and checking out my blog post on supplements. It's really, really helpful and thorough as far as what to look for in a supplement. I already mentioned the iodine supplement, okay? Omegas, we know omegas are super, super important. Fish are no longer, unfortunately, a safe source for our omegas. Although they do have a quicker conversion rate from the omega fatty acids to the DEA, DEA, to the APA and DHA, it's no longer safe for quite a few reasons. First of all, they've been toxic for years now, 5 to 10 years. Fish have been found with pharmaceutical drugs in their flesh. They've been found with PCBs, which are the toxins, byproducts from plastic, okay? Also DDT, which is the stuff that Agent Orange is made out of. That causes cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, lots of those deformities, that icky stuff. We don't want that in our body, definitely near our unborn developing baby, okay? Nowhere near it, okay? There's been an additional issue with fish now since Fukushima has happened. They actually are finding fish literally with tumors, bloodied tumors and cancer. Don't mean to gross you out there, but it's true. I've actually seen photographs. They have found tumors on salmon, sea bass, I want to say shark as well, halibut, and even shrimp. They are finding tumors. There are many other wildlife that they're finding tumors on, but we're not eating those, so it's not as big of an issue in regards to this talk. So you don't want to be eating that stuff, right? I mean, it's just not a safe source. You don't want any fish oil. I don't care how pure they say it is. If you're getting it from a cancerous radioactive fish, how pure can it be? You know, how much can they really filter out? I don't trust it. I don't know about you. This is the one that I take. And you can tell that I take all these because I have them, right? So this is the Omega. This is a vegan Omega. I got this also at the Tree of Life online store. I really like that one because honestly, it's the best one that I found, to be perfectly honest with you. The ones that I've seen in health food stores, they had some fillers in it that I just didn't care for. This one does have a couple in it, to be honest with you. It does. But he also, another reason I like getting them from Dr. Cousin's store is he actually tests his supplements for certain levels to test their purity, and I really like that. He has lots of short little videos on his website as well. So I went over prenatal. Let's move into our second trimester, okay? So as you get to the second and third trimester, that's when you'll start having less room in your belly because there's a baby there, and it'll be pushed up kind of into your chest, into your ribs, okay? So what happens to a lot of women are a couple of things: constipation and heartburn, okay? Constipation, drink tons and tons of water, eat foods with fiber, okay? If you're eating a lot of animal products, dairy, eggs, chicken, cows, pigs, that's what they're called, chicken, cows, and pigs. If you're eating those things, they don't have much fiber, and you will likely get constipated much more easily, okay? If you are eating those things, please make sure that you're eating an organically fed animal product, okay? Because you are what your food ate. So if they're being fed GMOs, guess what you're eating? GMOs. So that's going to not only affect your digestive tract, like I mentioned earlier, but also your immune system and your developing unborn baby. And if you are eating animal products, I would limit them to no more than 3 times a week and just make sure it's a really high quality, really high quality. It's got to be organic fed. That's the most important part. If you see that it says, free range, that doesn't really mean much, unfortunately, these days. It just means that they were given a slightly larger space to roam around in a certain period of the day. But unless you know that they're being fed an organic diet, hopefully their natural diet, that's really what you want to look for. You want to make sure that they're not eating GMOs, because that's what's commonly fed to these factory farmed animals is a GMO diet of corn and soy. That is not their natural diet. So they get sick, then they're fed antibiotics, and it's just a whole mess. You don't want that anywhere near your body or your baby, once again. One thing that will really help your heartburn, eating tons of fiber will get rid of the constipation, and water, okay? So if you're eating plants, legumes are also a great source of folate and protein. They're also healthy carbohydrates, okay? And they have tons of fiber. So if you're eating those and drinking tons of water, hopefully you won't deal with too much constipation. As far as heartburn goes, ACV, apple cider vinegar, it does wonders. Just take a little teaspoon of it and a little bit of water, and that's just to dilute the taste because it is vinegar. It's not going to taste great, okay? But that'll really help your heartburn go down. All heartburn is your stomach doesn't have enough acid to digest what's there, okay? So if you're eating like a Tums and it's blocking that acid production, although it's immediately suppressing it from coming up and you'll be more comfortable rather, it's not doing what your body actually needs, which it's lacking the acid. That just means you overate or there's not enough room in your tummies, which is what happens to pregnant women, okay? So apple cider vinegar is absolutely great. HCl is another supplement, hydrochloric acid. That's what's in our stomach. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what's in our stomach. You can also get that from the Tree of Life. I don't have that one on me. But my favorite thing that I live off of, whether I'm pregnant or not, but I used it a ton when I was pregnant, is digestive enzymes. Always ask your doctor, of course, before taking any of these supplements. But my doctor said enzymes were fine. And just so you know, you probably can't see that, but it lists the different types of enzymes on there. A lot of people like the papain, okay, which is not a bad enzyme, okay? It's from papaya and it's a little cheaper, so a lot of people use that. But a lot of my clients, I tell them to get on enzymes, and a lot of them have enzymes, and they're like, I don't really notice a difference. Well, there's a reason for that. I've tried many different enzymes, okay? And these are the ones that I like the best, and I notice if I don't have them. They're very strong, and he's got them dosed out so that it's not a one-size-fits-all, which makes sense if you think about it. You're not going to need the same amount of digestive enzymes if you eat a smoothie than if you eat a pizza, right? I mean, those are two totally different things. So what you need to know is different enzymes digest different things, okay? Lactase digests lactose, protease digests proteins, and so on. So if you have papain, that's great. And it's not that it doesn't do anything, but it's just a small help, okay? It doesn't have all these different enzymes to digest all the different things that you're eating, carbs, sugars, milk, possibly, hopefully not. It's not going to have all of those different enzymes in there, okay? So this is, like I said, this is one that I really, really like. I use it a ton. This is by Health Force. It says Health Alliance on there. I don't know why. The company's name is Health Force. I absolutely love them, and I do have a link to their stuff on my website as well. Probiotics are also super, super important and really helpful. That'll just help you overall, okay? That'll help you when you're breastfeeding, which I'll kind of touch on in a second. And it'll help your immune system stay strong. It'll help your digestion. It'll help you with gas, bloating, heartburn, all those things are going on down here. 80% of your immune system's in your gut. So if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. I have 2 probiotics that I like. Garden of Life again. I love them. They have a few different ones you'll see in health food stores. I got 50 and Wiser just because it's stronger. That's all it is. There's more and different particular strains, okay? They might have one for pregnant women. I'm not sure. But they have a ton of different ones. But they have to be refrigerated, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. But that's going to be why I really like the Friendly Force. And this is Health Force, again, probiotics, okay? This comes in powder or capsule form, and it's shelf stable. Oh, hallelujah, shelf stable. I don't know about you, but I would always forget to take my probiotics because they're in the fridge. I have all my other supplements here, and then I have to go to the fridge to take this one thing. I love that these are shelf stable, okay? I don't have enough time to get into how and why they do that, but trust me, okay? Just to touch on breastfeeding really quick, which I am breastfeeding, and if you have to do formula, that's totally fine. I support whatever you choose, okay? I would like to recommend in this book, Conscious Parenting, okay, they have some wonderful dairy-free formulas in the back, and this is written by a doctor and another author who's also a Montessori teacher and a mother herself. I actually know her personally. That's not why I got the book, actually. I got it before I even knew she wrote it. But they have some wonderful dairy-free recipes in the back. And the reason I mentioned that he's a doctor is because he actually tells you what to put in it and why, so that you know that your baby is getting everything that they need if for some reason you can't breastfeed. If you are breastfeeding, congratulations, stay with it, watch Lori's podcast, they will help you. She saved my life. I absolutely love her to death. She is wonderful, okay? Breastfeeding is nature's perfect food. I mean, you're making it. So that being said, when you're breastfeeding, it's really important to eat super healthy, okay? You got to eat healthy. If you don't have it, your milk doesn't have it, your baby's not getting it, okay? So that goes for, take your prenatals, take your probiotics, okay? Take your superfoods. And another thing to mention is that your baby, when you start to wean them off and introduce foods, they'll actually want what they tasted in your milk. So that's something really interesting to kind of think about, okay? If you're eating really healthy foods, you'll have an easier time getting them to eat healthy foods, okay? So I hope this video serves you well. I hope that you have a wonderful pregnancy or preconception or trying. I hope you have an amazing, beautiful birth. Please check out my website, www.bemoreraw.com. Once again, I'm Elizabeth Joseph. Have a great day. Happy breastfeeding, everyone. Okay?